First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up to the Texas State Commission on Judicial Conduct public meeting that they had in Austin, Texas this last Wednesday. And I want to go over the highlighted portion of that whole meeting. See, every 2 years, the Texas Commission on Judicial Conduct shall have a meeting with the public. So for the last 6 years, I've been going to these meetings, and we've never had any problems recording in the past.
Right? You're working within the system you have. But I've heard horror stories, especially from family courts all over the state.
Being at the SCJC public meeting 2 years ago, I was able to observe this. This is my recording. Not only in my recording do you see an iPhone on a tripod, but the man at the end of the table, that's your chairman, Mr. Gary Steele, or should I say Judge Gary Steele from Seguin. Now, Gary Steele was at the end of the table, got promoted to chair, and now has changed the rules of the game. Of course, it's in the government code, but what do we know?
Today's proceedings are being conducted pursuant to Section 33.0055 of the Texas Government Code, which requires the Commission in even numbered years to hold one public hearing to consider comment from the public regarding the Commission's mission and operations. I will now read to you the Commission's mission statement. The mission of the State Commission on Judicial Conduct is to protect the public, promote public confidence in the integrity, independence, competence, and impartiality of the judiciary, and encourage judges to maintain high standards of conduct both on and off the bench. I would also remind all of you that it is against the law to photograph, record anything for this commission today. I'll remind you all there is going to be a recording. It will be available upon request through the executive directors.
But in this meeting, they made it pretty clear that it was illegal to record the meeting. Let's take a deep dive into what just happened. See, the matter of public concern comes that the chair of the State Commission on Judicial Conduct is telling people that it's illegal to record the proceeding. He does also mention that there will be a recording. So while it's illegal for us to record, he's saying that they're going to record and that you may have a copy. So it's not really illegal if they can do it, but we can't, is it? I didn't want to argue, so I just put my camera away. But I went up there and I said, what law was it for not to record in a public hearing? We always get that all the time, but well, whenever you're ready, I'll start. I think the State Commission on Judicial Conduct got the message when there were several members of the public that questioned them on their authority to tell people whether it was illegal to record or not.
Yes, I'm Robert Brewer speaking for myself. And for background, I'm an atmospheric chemist. I've worked with some of the top scientists on Earth, the father of global warming, the matriarch of climate change, and with Carl Sagan's boss at Cornell. I've traveled the Earth looking for deep Earth gas. So I've been at the top pretty much of my profession. I am here because the Constitution was written to protect those. And the first sentence of the Constitution is "we the people." That's what we are here. We're standing up to straighten out the system as we see it. Restricting us from recording violates Texas law 551.023, and that's the main reason that I'm here. Every judge in Smith County that I've talked to says you can't record. I used to be able to record. 15 years ago, it was fine. I had a tripod. I recorded every trial that I ever went to. Now you can't. They say it's the judge's prerogative. Our rights to those what I just read off are protected and inalienable. So we have to be able to record.
Thank you, sir.
And then you have Taran Champagne, the wizard. And why do we call him the wizard? Because he's fast, he's quick, he's thorough, and he's effective. And just like that, he makes magic happen.
Thank you, sir. Taran Champagne. Next up will be Dorothy Patterson.
My name is Taran Champagne, and I represent myself. Impotent, feckless, ineffectual, and flaccid are how I would describe the worthless State Commission on Judicial Conduct, which continues to consume Texas taxpayer funding while providing no benefit to the general public. This is my third time speaking before the board since 2018. I think a perfect example of this ineffectiveness of the board is the statement that we cannot record this hearing. Once again, Section 551.023 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. A person in attendance may record all or any part of an open meeting of a governmental body by means of a recorder, video camera, or other means of oral or visual representation. You said we couldn't. I feel the record should be corrected on that. This agency, staffed by a meager 12 employees, is either unequipped or unwilling to do anything to accomplish their mission of serving as a check against rogue judges who actively harm the public. The budget, as laid out in the General Appropriations Act, shows a paltry $1,485,935 appropriated for the solemn duty of holding our judiciary accountable. Of those staff on there, there's only 4 investigators. 4 investigators seem hardly adequate to handle the 925 cases that were filed in fiscal year 23, not including those cases pending at the beginning of the year. It's odd that the agency even has investigators, as it appears the investigators do very little in actual investigations. With my own complaints, those others have filed, and certainly others testifying today, I cannot recall ever hearing where an investigator actually contacted a witness. Is this or is this not part of their scope of duties while doing an investigation? Your annual report seems to show a reduction in the number of cases filed, having reached a peak in 22 at 1,764 and declining precipitously to 925. Have our judges gotten more honest due to the SCJC being effective? No. The SCJC has in fact removed the ability to submit complaints electronically. Noted clearly on their website is that they do not accept complaints via online forms, telephone, email, or fax. We live in a digital age, and despite previously accepting complaints online, they've removed this functionality. If this commission seeks reform, then they need to work to restore the public's trust by actually performing their functions and investigating judges in violation of judicial ethics. This actually involves contacting witnesses, providing greater ease of access by which individuals can submit complaints and supporting evidence, and do more than holding this biennial meeting and doing nothing. I've requested notes and memorandums from this commission summarizing these meetings, and I've always gotten the same response. There are no records responsive to this request. While this commission is not doing anything, I don't think they will. Fortunately for the public, there is the Sunset Commission, which will review this board in 28 and 29. While last time the Sunset Commission may have had little access to SCJC documentation, I can assure you that next time individuals like myself will be more than happy to provide the commission our documentation from our complaints that you all fail to do. I urge you to restore public trust in our judiciary instead of punting it to the next SCJC committee members as is standard practice.
Thank you, sir.
And then this happens.
Ma'am, in the back corner, I know not everybody, people are recording in violation of our proceedings, but at least turn off your lights so you're not distracting us. The mission of the State Commission on Judicial Conduct is to protect the public, promote public confidence in the integrity, independence, competence, and impartiality of the judiciary, and encourage judges to maintain high standards of conduct both on and off the bench.
So in conclusion, he says that their mission statement is to protect the public, promote public confidence. Then he said something about competence and impartiality, blah, 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 blah. Encourage judges to maintain high standards. So what we have is a district court judge here in the state of Texas that is the chairperson for the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. And in the end, he blames the public. I know some of y'all are recording in violation of this proceedings. I'm sorry, but your policies, procedures, and rules don't supersede state law. And I think we've already gone over the state law in this video. It's kind of redundant. Oh, and I forgot. In October of 2022, at this public meeting, we caught the new chairman doodling a seashell instead of paying attention to the public testimony before him. Just something to think about. Does this promote competency within our Judicial Oversight Commission? Thanks for watching, and tell me what you think in the comments below.